keep warning you. Doors and corners, kid. That's how they get you.
Yes.
Couldn't help
I
myself.
love it.
Could not help myself.
Your proto-molecule microphone.
My proto-molecule microphone. I tell you, it's going to produce some crazy sound tonight. So look, before we get into the actual podcast, I have a couple of things that we can do tonight. One is I have an image, the best def I could get of the assault team display screen that has all the, if you noticed, all of the sci-fi.
Did you hear
characters.
that?
Yeah, so I have it. I could show you guys that, and we could try to name as many as we could. That's something we can do.
Wow. Okay.
And another thing we could do, and I'm just saying we don't have to, is that the negotiation scene around the table with everyone but Bobby, right? Everybody but Bobby names. Anyway, I've got that full script. I can put it up, and we could all take parts and read it out if you want.
Because it's whatever you want to do.
Well, I don't want to ask people to do stuff they don't want to do. Okay, then we'll get to it if we get to it. Very, very cool.
We do stuff all the time, so we don't care.
Beltalowda, welcoming good co-paying me, or hello Belters, welcome my friends to Dark Loops Productions podcast about the amazing Amazon Prime show, The Expanse. I'm your host, Dr. Scott Jordan, aka Zombie Scotty. Tonight, channeling Detective Josephus Miller through the proto-molecule microphone. We are the Expanse crew, and tonight we discuss the season finale and the series finale, Babylon's Ashes. Beltalowda, please introduce yourselves and say a little something about who you are, and we'll start with Leandra.
I'm Leandra. I am channeling no one. I am recovering from COVID, so I'm channeling I don't know, someone in sick bay. So yeah,
that's Star Trek.
Yeah, dang it, med bay, is that what they call it? I don't know. I have a little bit of a Belter look going on tonight. It's fine. Anyway, assistant professor and coordinator of school psychology at William and Mary out here in Virginia.
Fantastic. How about you, Sister K?
I am Sister K, aka Kelsey, and I am part of the Sister Speak Productions or Sister Speak podcast. We have a plethora.
Fantastic. And how about you, Sister J?
I'm Sister J. I'm the other part of one of four sisters who podcast the Sister Speak podcast. And I'm a retired lawyer and a crime fiction novelist.
You know, that's fantastic. And before we begin discussing this episode, I just want to inform the audience, right, of how insightful we are when it comes to plot lines and series finales. So any final comments on tonight's episode or where we think it's going? This is from last week. Feel free to talk over it.
I just want Philip to kill his daddy.
I don't know what I want to happen.
I want that to happen. Yeah.
I want a space battle. I want a space battle.
A space battle. We got a space battle.
Yeah. No. I don't. Yeah.
You know what? And we
gonna see Bobby out in her gear, though.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, we gonna see Bobby.
I think Bobby in her Martian suit could fly in undetected and maybe do something with that gun.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. Like we're thinking Endgame. Everybody's going to bring in their superhero powers. You know, Bobby's going to have the suit. Amos is going to have everything.
Bobby better live. I know that much.
I know. Bobby better live.
Peaches has got her mods or whatever. She's
Peaches could do that. Yeah.
We are going to get one of those scenes. It's going to be at the ring, and where everyone's ship is going to show up.
Avengers Assemble.
That would be great. Some of those ships, I mean, they're gone. We saw them burn up in that red stuff, so they're gone. That Barkeith, it's gone.
Yeah, and there's another point there.
It didn't just like go down in some other ring and stuff. It burnt up.
You know, what I love about it is all these little clues they're giving, like those red swirly things. They get more and more angry when you come through. And we're gonna have all these ships trying to get through. You know, maybe those red guys got a part to play in how this all plays on.
You know what could happen? It could be that Earth the Belters get to chasing Marco, and he goes through that ring, and just like you said, because those little red things is getting angrier and angrier,
There you
Did we
go.
call it
kill
or
him
what?
first.
There you go. That whole ship.
I don't
That'd be
know.
rough.
I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
We caught a lot.
We
Yeah.
did.
We totally called it, right? And what I love about it is that we talked to each other about it long enough. We kept having an influence. That's what you call good jazz, right?
That's right.
It's just good jazz, and suddenly we figured out, and no one will ever believe us, but damn it, we got it on tape. So what are they going to
Exactly. See, that's right.
do? So, favorite lines, favorite scenes, favorite characters. Who wants to go first?
All of it.
Yep.
All of it, fantastic.
Except for one. But
Oh,
yes,
okay,
all
bring it
of
on.
I can tell you what my not favorite
Okay.
was. You know who I'm
No.
gonna say, that damn Pet Cemetery stuff.
Yeah.
That Laconia. But you know
All of
what?
that was my worst part of the whole thing. They could have given us 5 more minutes of battle, which we had a
Yeah.
lot, and not even dealt with that. I
And
would have been happy.
I'm sorry, but that little girl, she's like, "Oh, don't worry. If I die, they'll bring me back." Are you crazy?
She has some developmental milestones to achieve in her cognitive
The
development.
part that
Why they should be watching her, and we got no closure at all, except that they got what they wanted and they cut Marcos off, which I'm actually really glad they did that. I mean, that was satisfying.
Yeah.
But that's all we got. That whole thing was just so that we would understand why they cut Marcos off. Like, you could have just said, "Hey, we got what we needed. Sorry, not our fight."
Yeah.
Like,
my most irritating part of that whole first 5 minutes was them damn parents.
Again.
Beat
Yeah.
that child.
Oh, she needed a whooping, didn't she?
Oh, she needed a whooping.
She needed a whooping. I kept
Sorry.
saying that. Okay, now she needed a belt on her
Oh,
butt.
she needed a whooping.
Thank
I need
you.
to call my
I
daughter
mean-
and get DCFS over there, man. I mean,
I'm
Well,
telling
first of all,
too.
okay, it was bad enough that she was saying, "Oh, the dog's victim," but then you gonna be. Oh, that shows you she plotted ahead of time.
Okay.
yeah. No.
Oh no, ooh.
And then
You
you
know
lock
what?
them in a closet. Like, okay, let me just put this in a closet and shut the door.
You know what though? It would have been fine if both of those adults wouldn't have ran out the house.
Yeah. These
One
are
of them
not.
could have ran out the house, and the other one should have stayed up in there and waited
Right.
for the law to come because he was
Right.
calling the military. You know, he should have stayed up in there, and then everything would have been fine. But as far as the father's response, I was agreeing with him. I said, "That's right. That boy got some black blood." No,
He's got to go.
Yeah.
He's
Gotta
got to
go.
go. I mean, this is not.
He's like, I want to hug. I'm like,
I want to hug
That
too.
father said,
Oh, you
hell
ain't that
no."
to me.
Yeah. The note I wrote is Proto Baby wants a hug. Daddy cuts him. Proto Baby heals instantly. Daddy puts him in the closet.
Yeah. Well, listen, when you
No,
see something
man.
you don't understand, you should put it in a closet. I guess that's the way. I don't know. I'm just that whole
Yeah.
thing.
You know what though? I thought that was a very real response
No,
Totally.
it was. It was not a
to
smart.
what it was, because the first thing he wanted to do was get that thing that was not his son
Right.
away from them.
Yep.
That was
You
the,
don't know.
that was the most near space he could. And actually, I thought that was pretty smart.
Yep.
He locked him in the closet, and whatever that little boy is, he couldn't get out that closet.
No, he couldn't.
So much for the
Yeah.
proto molecule. I mean, closet.
I wouldn't have put him in the closet. I just would have been like, yeah, you're right. Why don't the mom and the daughter go find food for us, and I'm gonna stay here and kill you? Like, that would have been like,
Oh snap!
you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm too much of
Yeah.
a Stephen King person, but like
Yeah.
that moment, or maybe it's the crisis training, like you need to get everyone else out of that space, and then it's on
Yeah.
you to protect your family. So he should have
Yeah.
just, anyway, that's just,
You know what
Yeah,
they
but-
did? Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I don't think he's a scientist, though.
They all are.
Yeah, well, but
They are. They had lab stuff.
Yeah, that's true. They
Mhm.
did.
They
I
all
think he was
are.
a stowaway on the ship because he didn't. He
Never
wasn't all
did
that smart.
anything.
Yeah,
The mom's the
exactly.
one-
They don't need
Babies.
kids. That's all I
Just
know.
throwing
They didn't need
fists,
two
you know.
kids.
Well, I thought the father's response was pretty good because see, I would have cut the boy up too.
That would have been a
Oh,
mess.
I'm fine with that. Oh, no,
Hey.
that's-
I would have just shot with slice on his little hand. Oh no, he'd be gone.
He'd be gone. I tell you what they
He'd be
did do
down.
okay is the way they shot it. We think that all those Laconia events happened at the same time, but it could very easily be the case that that Martian guy denied Marco access to Laconia a year or two ago. You know, we don't know because I always got the impression that Laconia thing was in the future. I never got the impression it was right now,
No,
but I
No,
know
it's right now.
It was right
Right
now
now.
because the Laconia was feeding them the proto molecule
food
equipment.
Oh, yeah, equipment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're
arm
right. You're
equipment.
right.
I mean, the
Self-pack
proto
and
molecule
stuff. Mhm.
was what made those giant, huge rail guns
Yeah.
on Medina Station. Number
Okay,
one.
so I'll edit my
And the
stupid comment out of this.
No, no. But what I did not understand, which I, was the only thing that was cool about that scene was when the boy and girl were going through the woods, and the
Yes.
little boy said, "You can't survive out here. There's no food for you." But then when he looked at her and she had the pro molecule lights and stuff,
Yeah,
I
the
thought
little
that was a good scene. But other than
Yeah,
that,
you got to see
hated
from
it.
his perspective.
from
Absolutely.
his point of view.
But then
yeah.
when we were looking up in the sky and the Duarte's looking up too, and that big whatever that was,
Mm,
protomolecule ship or whatever it was, I don't know what that is. And they
Well-
never really explained what that was.
That's going to be the spinoff, either a movie or a series, but
Oh.
that's going to be a spinoff. But what I took it to be the entities had created that thing, and that's what the scientists were looking to do.
Hmm.
Because either they shot a part of the proto molecule like out or whatever, but I took it like that was built by the proto molecule and the entity thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like waking it up. They're
Yeah.
trying to wake all of it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why he told Marco, no, sorry, buddy,
yeah,
because I got what I needed.
exactly. I got to tell you guys, we really called the structure of this episode, right? I mean, I was waiting for the first battle to start. That first battle from, sequence to end, 22 minutes.
Yes.
It was
I was a happy girl.
It was wonderful.
Fantastic. It was really, really good.
I loved
So-
it.
So let's talk about the battle. Talk about your favorite parts. I
Drummer.
mean, there's so much of it, right?
I'm gonna
I mean,
say that whole thing with Drummer, like when you see her ship is missing a piece of the hull, but it has like the whatever field, and she's like ready to go in. That whole thing, I was like on the
Yeah.
couch on my
Yes.
feet,
I
like
was like,
jumping.
No.
And I was actually really sad that she wasn't going to be the one facing off with Marco. And then it turned out that's where he was. And I was
yes,
like, yes.
that
Oh,
was all so well written because
That, to me, the
she
most
took her. ahead.
amazing part was when the ship, who they thought was the freighter, started losing its little parts.
Transformer.
I thought, oh my goodness, no, he didn't do that. But see, that was part of that proto molecule technology that they got from Laconia.
And I thought back to like when he's working with the dude who lost his brother, and you're seeing them like, I thought they were just replacing hull plating, but I think they're actually building that thing around them.
They were.
Mm.
See, now we know that now.
Such a
But,
good
yeah.
callback.
Wasn't that good?
It was really
No,
good.
it was
That
really
was
smart.
really too, that was just really so surprising. It was like,
Well,
what?
And they
I had to
set
go
us
back.
up for it because we saw Drummer accept the mission of going against the freighters, right? That she said, we'll do our part. They had an argument.
Yeah.
She said, no, we'll do our part. And then lo and behold, Mark was in front of her and she doesn't get him.
But you know what?
I mean, that's just too
you
surprising.
could see it in
right?
her face. That's what the best
Yeah.
part
But
was.
Didn't you feel sorry for Drummer? I felt real sympathy, not empathy, sympathy for Drummer when she was getting dressed and ready for the battle, because her whole quarters was nobody there but her.
Yep. It was empty.
It was
And
all
yeah.
empty.
Oh,
And
Absolutely.
I thought about that. I thought, oh, because the first time we saw her in her quarters getting ready for another battle, there's like 4 or 5 people in there.
Yeah, no, that's
I felt
good.
like it was like symbolism of this whole story for her, because through her quest to do what she thought was right for the Belters and take on this mission to not only turn against Marco, but then try to get him, she lost her whole family.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
you know, her going out to that battle, she's like, okay, this is like the culmination of everything. If I don't get him, it's going to make it like, why did I lose my family because of this? And then when she couldn't do it because her ship was disabled, half her team was killed, the big old hole in the ship. And she's like, you can see, I felt like that was when she was like, okay, well, let's go to him. We gonna torpedo ourselves into him. And I was like, no, Trevor, no, you're still useful. We still need you.
I know.
And I was so happy when Walker did it. I mean, you could see in her face how upset she was by that, because she was like, well, hell, I didn't do what I set out to do. I wanted to make the ultimate sacrifice to get him, because I've already sacrificed everything else. There's nothing else for me.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. That line there where she says, leave the pellet to me. And the driver says, collision course, that'll overload the reactor. And she says, that will help. I mean,
I know. I said, oh, Trevor is so tough. I love her.
Just such great writing. And then when the dude says, oh, yeah, boss man, that we think the same, just beat you to it. Tenye washe scoot, which means good hunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that scene where he just goes, I'll tell you what,
I know.
I just loved it. I absolutely. And then she says, we're kind of done. Let's go join the fleet, right? I just loved how it was I'm not going to say fan service, but they knew they were writing against our expectations, right? They knew that, so they set us up to believe he wasn't there. Then he was there. Then we're going to believe she's going to get him. Then she doesn't get him. And it's like, boom, boom, boom. I just love writing that. Those where my mind's going. It just says boom, 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 because it was so terribly satisfying.
Yeah, really, I'm sorry Walker had to sacrifice himself though, because I like that character. But
how many lines did he have? But maybe 20. And the dude was totally part of the plot. I mean, he was totally there. Yeah, that's something about the writing where they pick the right joints, they pick the right things to write words about, and it's just guy had instant credibility when he came on the scene. Yeah. And everything he said made sense.
That was a good choice of actor too. Oh, I've seen him. So. I've seen him in westerns, and he's very present. That actor is.
Yeah, exactly.
A little disappointed in myself that I didn't figure out that Marcos had done a switch, because he's like, this is the one thing he's good at. Like, this is it. Like, being surprising, showing up when you don't think he's going to be there, undermining everything. And so when I like genuinely was shocked, I was like, dang it, they did it.
Yeah, they got you. They got you.
Gotcha.
And then you love him for it.
It's rare for someone to like genuinely shock me. And I don't know what that says about me. I'm gonna blame it on COVID.
Well, I think what it says, these are really good writers, because they're looking at their A-level audience, right? And they're writing for the A-level audience. They're writing for the people that live on every line, run every simulation on what it means. And man, it's hard to find writing that good, let alone a TV corporation that will fund, dialogue that sophisticated.
Well, and especially when you understand that generally, not everything, but generally in television anyway, that the script writers write for an audience of age 13.
Yeah.
That's why when you get something that's adult language and adult dialogue and interactions, it like really does well with us adults, because so much of that stuff is so silly.
Not to go left, but I was telling you guys earlier, there's this fantastic I don't know what you call it, podcast, but a video blog kind of thing like we do. It's on YouTube. done by the guy who plays Amos and one of the writers.
Yay.
And there are 6 episodes for season 6. And in episode 1, they interview the writers. I highly recommend you watch the writer, the director.
Watch it.
It's really,
I'll go
really
find
good.
it.
And one of the points they make is that this is season 6 or episode 6. They're talking to Naomi, but when they were doing it on sci-fi, they didn't have much of a watchership, right? They were bragging about having hundreds and thousands, right? It went on Amazon, and once people had to pay for it versus watch commercials,
Yes.
it went into the millions.
Yes.
And I just hope that people get that, because I will pay not to have to watch commercials, and I will pay
For a
to
good
watch
show.
good work.
For a good show, yes.
Oh, it's fantastic. And, having just finished The Sopranos this last weekend, by the way.
Oh, you went through them.
Yeah. It's just.
So you're done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
I loved it. I saw the final scene.
You can't have loved that last episode, that last scene. No.
I instantly went onto YouTube and said, what did that last scene mean?
Yeah. What the
It didn't
heck?
mean anything. It didn't mean
All of
anything.
us
Life
said.
goes on, is what it means. Life
That's
goes on.
true. But
And,
that was
they're
so
arguing-
dissatisfying, though. It was so dissatisfying.
Well, it was artistically something that wasn't emotionally. I completely agree. They were trying to argue that, because earlier in that episode, he's talking to one of his guys, and the guy says, hey, you probably don't even hear it when it's coming. Right. And then boom, like that means he got it. And a lot of that episode was shot point of view from his perspective,
Yeah.
but it's not emotionally satisfying at all. It's artistically
No.
cool, but
It wasn't.
no. Anyway, that was one of the first ones, right? I mean, I just I'll pay for it. Not have to watch commercials and to watch good writing. Okay, guys, other parts about the battle that freaked you out, that you absolutely loved.
You know what I
Rosenfeld.
really like?
Yes.
Rosenfeld.
Rosenfeld
did
But
not
died,
see
y'all.
that was shocking.
I did not see that coming whatsoever, and I was actually upset about it.
Yeah,
I was too. And then Marcos was just like,
I think that helped push Philip over the edge too.
Oh, it did.
okay,
Yeah.
good point.
yes.
Good
Yeah.
point, because it felt like, again, once they're sort of squashing our expectations, right? Because we were all arguing who's going to take him out, and we thought she might. She's out, but Philip
gone.
sees it, right? And then
Yeah.
And
I think that really, he was already, in almost every episode, there's at least one scene where you could see him thinking. So he was already kind of thinking. But I think that just really pushed him, I think, and then he went right from there to all of that speech talking that he did on series, but he was doing from the ship. And
No.
Philip just said, nah, you know what?
I think it was
My
too,
mama was right.
when Marco said, yeah, well, we all have to die for a cause.
Yeah.
And when, and didn't even pause for a minute to say, oh, I'm sorry she's gone. That's all he had to say. Oh man, I'm sorry she's gone. She was a great XO, whatever. He didn't even say
staring at her ass.
But what Philip said was for a cause or for you. That's what his response was. So that lets you know, okay, he gonna be breaking away from this.
So how many of you were surprised by his final action?
I was shocked.
No, I was not. I was like, he got out. Because if he had died in there, they would have shown him getting eaten up by the entities. I was like, nope, he was out. He peed.
See, I didn't even think about that. I should have thought about that. But
no, he's too big of a character. They would have shown him, and he would have.
But I was shocked when they backed it up and showed him. I thought, yes.
And he renamed himself Philip Nagata.
Yes, he did.
He better. He can't call himself an ROC.
Exactly. What I loved about that was when the red entities started eating Marco, which I thought, damn, are we smart or what? Anyway, they started eating him. They don't show Philip at all. The ship is gone. And I'm thinking, damn, that's brilliant. I'm the one that's got to recognize that Philip's dead. And then when you see Naomi's reaction, she's reacting as if Philip is dead. And I thought, that's pretty bold to not even give him an out scene, no stage exit, and I didn't even anticipate that he was alive.
I'm
didn't.
with you,
Oh,
Scott. I
I
didn't
did.
either. I was feeling so guilty and so bad because I thought what I did to kill his daddy. I thought, oh, boy.
Yeah,
No,
I
as
give
soon
him
as I
credit.
didn't see him, I told Adam, I was like, he got off. I did
Mm.
love that scene though, because it's like Marcos is like realizing what's about to happen, and he's like,
He's just veer off.
The whole scene was just gorgeous.
It
was
was
really
great.
good.
It was really good. Very well done.
And I loved how they just froze him, and then they
Yeah.
just slowly erased him with the red side. I
Yep.
just loved it because
But
that.
you know what? That's the same way they did the captain and that other woman on the Barkey.
Yeah,
Same thing.
it's a.
'Cause
Go
She
ahead.
had handed him her bracelet, remember? And
Yeah.
they just started. Yeah, I
Mm.
liked it.
I thought it was a real inexpensive way to act as if you had frozen time, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
somehow they violated the laws of space time, and the red entities are something outside of that. And
Mhm.
it was a gorgeous scene, and
I liked it, but I liked Bobby's reaction too. She's the only one who was smiling. She was
She's
smiling.
like, finally.
She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yes. But you know,
Exactly.
she didn't want to hoop and holler. But yeah,
I do like the
she was
scene
smiling.
right before when they planned that, because when they were trying to figure out what are they going to do, I know I'm skipping some stuff, but what are we going to
That's
do
okay.
at this last moment at the ring gates? But right before Naomi gave them that new thing, the new plan, and they're like, okay, let's do this. We have this, and all Amos said was, I just want to make sure we killing him. In other
This
words,
time.
but you gonna hit the button this time, Holden.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it was so like, he wasn't like saying it in a way to say it outright, but he was trying to say, okay, just as long as we get to kill him
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
time.
They
Yeah.
really, they really nuanced these actors. They really nuanced these roles and got all the emotional tension just right. You know,
Wow.
because Amos wouldn't have said, as long as I'm going to kill him, you know, they wouldn't have
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
sarcasm, right?
But
Yeah.
let's talk about the Last Supper scene. That was good to me.
Can you say
That was one
Firefly?
of the best.
Oh my
best
gosh.
scenes.
Couple moments where I thought
It was the
Firefly.
Last
Yeah.
Supper. That's exactly what it was like.
Yes. And
you know?
and there's someone actually posted the positions of that scene and then the positions of people in an earlier season. And I believe Peaches replaced
Alex.
The
Alex,
girlfriend.
right?
Yep.
Alex.
Just so smart. Just so
Mhm.
Yeah,
smart to
very
bring all
smart.
that back.
Mhm.
And I love how they, you know, tension, release, tension.
like that,
release.
yeah.
It was just so
And
I
I
got,
mean, they were
ahead.
chowing. I mean, and I was watching Bobby. She was
Bobby
whatever
was
they had in
tearing
the
that
bones
up.
for real. She was chowing.
She was.
yeah. So I want to tell you, in the midst of this battle, there's this one very, very small scene that's pretty much just visual, but I really, really liked it. And that's after Bobby launches, she's getting shot at. They're doing the ground assault. She releases the missiles and she blows up the guns. Naomi looks surprised and Holden's happy, but Holden's not happy in a kiddie way. Holden knows that Bobby knew they needed to keep the guns, yet Holden knows that Bobby had to kill the guns or they were all going to die, right?
Yeah.
And Holden just gets that in a second, and you see this very small smile. And I just, damn, the nuance, right? The emotional fidelity to get, we
Yeah.
lost the guns, but that's not the point right now, yo, because, I mean, look
Yeah.
what just happened to her. God,
you
the
know what?
I was
background assault
scared. I
was
thought she
awesome.
was
I
getting
had to
shot.
go and watch that like a second time because at first I didn't get the fact that she was firing off her missiles.
Yeah.
When I first watched it, I thought, wait, what? But that was really, really a beautiful scene and well done because she fired off her missiles off that suit. That was just really badass.
It was
And-
badass when she came down.
Yes.
I
Amos,
know.
he
I
falls
love
all
it.
down. He's trying to
All
get
of them were like,
himself up.
you guys
comes
would come down like
down.
superhero pose.
And she's just calm. She's like, all right, who left? Let's go.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Let's go. There's a scene where she says, like, I don't know, some team has so many people left, and Amos says, "Oh, Naomi could count better than that." Because I didn't check the math, but I suspect she was lying
I
to
think
everybody
she-
to make him feel they had a few more.
Probably.
I think he meant Naomi's calculation on how many
how many
of
people
those
survive.
boxes would make it.
Oh,
She
I
said
see.
20%.
Oh,
You know what? That was a beautiful scene too, because
Yes, it
I thought,
was.
wow, that many people, because they had already calculated, well, some of y'all not gonna make it. So,
right.
but I didn't think they even had that many people, as far as manpower. But that was a beautiful scene too,
Yeah.
when
Mhm.
Amos had to launch out that box, but how he was maneuvering that powered seat to miss all that debris and bullets. That was great.
When have you ever seen someone flying through space on a toilet?
I
Ever.
know.
And then steering it. That was just
that
like,
was really good.
I've never seen this
It
before.
was- It was a little reminiscent of I do this every time. Star Trek Discovery has a couple scenes like that.
Okay,
If you guys are watching the newer one. But I'm gonna go back. Sister J, you said not Sister J, Sister K, sorry. You said earlier, I think it was you, that you were nervous when Bobby was down there. I was just gonna validate that I thought she was gonna get shot.
I thought she was dying.
And I thought she was gone.
Because at first, when they first got down there and they started getting fire, and they're one of those little guys, red shirt, and I don't even watch Star Trek. But anyway, I know that part. But when they said it's armor piercing rounds, I was like, okay. So then when she started getting shot, I was like, wait a minute, they ain't gonna kill my Bobby. And she was like taking it. And then when Amos got down there and was kind of shielding her, and then he was, screaming, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
he was every time those bullets hit his suit, it's like when you get hit with the vest on. It still knocks you over, but it doesn't kill you.
Well, I know that now, but at the time I kept thinking, well, if they're armor piercing rounds, I feel like they would go through their armor too.
Unbelievable.
But I guess maybe they had extra strong
extra stuff.
They had the protomolecule armor too.
Did they? Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I don't know if she does or not, but I also I'm with you though. When she started bleeding, her nose was bleeding and stuff.
Yes.
Well, that's when I was grabbing onto my husband's arm.
Did you see that little round bullet hole right there? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a little round break in the glass.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, right almost in her eye. And I thought, oh my goodness.
And I mean, I thought that was really smart that when we did see them in that next scene where they're planning, she's all beat up and scratched up. And she's got scratches where maybe the bullets maybe did burn through. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but she looked beat up.
Yeah. I really liked how they, particularly with Amos and Bobby, guys, we know this is it. They either shoot us in the face, but they're not
both
shooting
of them,
in the back. And I'm not going to say I've ever been in a position like that because I haven't, but these are experienced fighters and they've both seen a lot of death. And this is what they do. So what I love is you get a space battle, then you get a space ground battle, whatever you call it, because it's in 360 degrees, right? I mean, you got aerosol troops coming in that are shooting up from the top. Of course, that's what they can do, man.
At first, I thought it was like drones or something, and then I realized, no, that's people coming down to shoot on top of them.
Unbelievable, yeah. And then that's when they said, "Well, I'm not going to sit here and wait. Let's go." And then I love it when Amos is giving all these orders and then he turns around and Bobby's gone. Right.
Yeah, she's all the way gone.
And she says something like, you all stay back, everybody. And Amos says, hell no, let's give her as much cover fire as we can. Right. That's the whole thing about covering the people on your flank. Right. I was in for every second. I
she was
everything.
Really good. I mean, that machine gun, I mean, she was doing her part.
You know what else I got to say, and I'll take crap for it. What I loved about this character is that here we have an extremely strong human being who happens to be female. And that is never an explicit issue in her relationship with anyone. She's just being Bobby and the world. And, I really appreciated that level of writing.
Well, I liked it because this whole season, yes, they show us she's a Marine, how badass she is and stuff, but she's also a woman. Mm-hmm. They showed her with a boyfriend, they showed her dating, she go to club drink, like a real human being. And
she went to the brothel with Amos.
Yeah. And not just this
That's the
tough
scene we
Marine,
did-
I
we
want to
should've
be
got.
like a dude, No, that's
Right,
not who she is
Leandra?
at all. So
Yeah.
I like her. What?
I said that's the scene we should have got. Her name is at the
It's
brothel.
Amazon Prime. What the hell, man?
Oh, come on, Amazon.
The
You
entire
could have
series.
taken out all of that damn pet cemetery and gave us a really good steamy
just
ass
saying,
scene at the
scene.
brothel.
The entire series starts off with them having sex in space. Like you couldn't end it with a little bit of sex in space.
I tell you what.
God, started his blush.
No, I'm not blushing. I'm not blushing. You're blushing. No, what I was thinking the whole time you're talking about that is just contracts, all right? Actor contracts,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we know what happened in Game of Thrones when the actor that played Cersei, they had a body double in that Shane scene, right? And
Yeah.
and then I don't know if it was Marjorie or someone, but after the first season where they had straight up sex
All the
scenes, they got a
nakedness, yeah.
contract not to have to
Yeah.
do it again.
That was Amelia Clark. After her
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
with Draco, she decided no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they wanted to keep her, they had to stop having her get naked.
I'm with her because look,
Hey,
they had a lot. They
But
had a
that
lot.
but that classic scene, that is a classic scene that no one in any movie to me will ever duplicate, and that is when she come up out that fire with them baby dragons. That's the
Oh.
penultimate
Love.
scene of anything I've seen. I mean,
Love.
that's my favorite scene.
that just defied any expectation.
Yes.
I know
I
it was just
what?
wonderful. So
What?
yeah,
And she didn't even know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly.
She
I
was
love
just
it.
drawn to those eggs.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that now.
It's still too soon for me.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Well, I've heard people say that when so there were people who binged the whole thing before watching the last season, and they kind of binged their way through it, and they weren't as uncomfortable.
Right.
I have watched the whole first season again because one of my favorite parts is when they all find the wolf puppies, because I just love that. But anyway, but yeah, so I've watched like maybe 2 or 3 seasons, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
You're
again
right,
yet,
though.
so.
Scott, the people that didn't watch it while it was live and had to wait in between seasons that binged all of them tend to have less issues with the finale
Yes.
than people who were live watching. And I don't know why.
Well, because they don't listen.
10 years of their damn time.
She hit it on the head.
Well, they also weren't watching the Sister Speak podcast on a weekly
Hashtag
basis.
Still
doing-
salty.
Still
I
salty.
did. And read the
I'm
book.
still salty. And read
I'm
the
not
book.
gonna finish it because they ruined it. I'm done. I'm walking away from the whole damn thing.
I wasn't gonna read no 1,000-page book
No.
that needed an editor.
Now, to be honest,
The
I
books
might
were
go
actually good.
read the Expanse books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those
I
are
might
really
read
good.
those. And the
Mhm.
thing is, they had the writers. I heard, well, I don't want to spoil nothing, but they talked to the writers were also part of the writing room
That's
for the
good.
show. And if you can write novels that well, and Sister J, whoever writing, you got to pick the joints, right? You got to pick the
Yeah.
events, you got to pick the words, and you got to get all of it through that. Some people can and some people can't. And
Well, and with the script writing, when you write a novel, you can put so much stuff into it because you put the imagery and everything else you want in there. I've written scripts as well, and script writing is totally different. It's just like the difference between basketball and football. They're 2 sports. They have
love it.
balls, but they got different rules. They got
Yeah.
different
It's true.
rules and different.
No, it's
everything.
true because for scripts, you have to visually put on paper what you're trying to say in your novel.
And you gotta keep it short.
And you got to keep it short because
Yeah.
every
No, you don't have to keep
pages.
it Hemingway short. Right.
Well, it depends
am
upon
not-
how long you got. If you're doing a 30-minute spot or a feature-length film, which is like 90 minutes, I mean,
Oh.
you got to plot stuff.
I'm sorry, I messed up. You were talking about shows, scripts. I was talking about novels.
Oh,
oh,
Oh.
novels
Hemingway
are
is not my
different,
cup of
Oh,
tea.
yeah,
You can
man.
go as
novels are
long as you
different.
want. You can do whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. So we've been talking about the battle for a bit. So what I thought I'd do, hold on here. what I
Now,
thought.
did
I
you
would
guys
keep.
catch that homage? Or so go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Scott.
No, please.
Is that what
you
you're
go ahead.
gonna?
No, go
Did
ahead.
you catch that homage
Here we
in
go.
the start of the battle?
I'm sorry,
Homage to-
my mouse is not the nicest creature in the world. Okay.
I don't. Yeah, if I did, I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yes, this is
All
what
right.
I was.
So these are the 3 assault teams, and these are the names.
Draper.
So let's go through these if you guys want to play, because I think collectively we might come close to getting all of them. So Alpha team starts with Draper, Bobby Draper, but I don't. Yeah, Bobby Burton.
That's Amos. Burton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's Amos.
And then Akbar,
I don't know who that is.
Don't know.
Idaho.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Is that Dennis Quaid?
Well, I mean, there's Akbar. General Akbar is from Star Wars. General
Oh, there you
Akbar.
go. That General Akbar.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Oh, okay.
And then A. Rogan. Is there an Admiral Rogan floating out there?
Don't know.
All right, so we're going to get beat up in the comments because we don't know these, but that's perfectly fine. Nesmith, is that the guy from the Monkees? No, that might be Michael Nesmith. D. Bauman, C. Shepard. Okay, we're not doing too well here.
Yeah,
No,
we're-
I only knew 4, and my 4 are all from the movie Aliens.
There you go.
So
why
as
don't
they
we
were
just go
saying
there?
the names,
Well, there's Ripley. I do know
Ripley,
Yeah.
Hudson, Hicks, and there was one
True.
other one.
Oh, Vasquez.
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 Yeah.
And then
And so
Decker.
when they were calling off the names, I was like, oh my, I had to rewind it. I was like, wait a minute, these are, because Aliens is one of my favorite, Aliens movies of all
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they're calling off all of the guys.
Oh,
Well,
wait.
now, so Charlie Company
Now I
must
see
be the
more.
Terminator then.
Oh, Sarah Connor.
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's Thrace, Kara Thrace
Yeah.
from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Yes. R. Stone.
Hmm.
Or is that Roger Stone, someone who's in the political news these days?
Oh, and there's Riker from Next
yeah,
Generation.
well, Riker, exactly. Yeah.
Wait,
Hi.
isn't Banks one of the guys who played one of the Star Trek people?
No,
What's his name? Banks.
no,
Oh,
he wasn't a captain. Mm-mm.
the commander?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I think.
now I want to know what they all are.
Yeah, no,
The Shepherd one is driving me nuts.
The
That
what?
one- the Shepherd one.
I would
Maybe-
get an F.
Shepherd Book?
I'm just excited I got Kara Thrace. Look.
I think we collectively
good
got a
one.
C, man. I mean, if we were
I
law
think I
school,
got
we'd pass the bar. We'd be all right.
That was awesome. That was an awesome little
I thought that was so cool.
homage. Yeah. it
And,
was
and I
very
just,
cool.
yeah. And to be able to be that, have that much fun, you can only do that. If you're going to do quality, you can only do that when you know you've done something really, really, really good. Then you can, play in the fun in the middle.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's hard. All right. Other favorite scenes, lines, characters.
Okay, well, I also looked it up. Do you guys want to know? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was right about Akbar. Dennis Quaid, Douglas Quaid from Total Recall. Douglas Quaid.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then I was wrong.
David Bowman is 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's the main character.
Oh wow, they went way back.
I'm embarrassed now.
Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. That's the one I couldn't remember. Amos Burton, we already know that. Duncan, Idaho, is the Swordmaster from Dune.
Yeah,
Duncan.
from Dune.
Yeah.
Duncan.
I
Alex
didn't know.
Rogan from The Last Starfighter. Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. I am very upset. I didn't know this one either. Jason Nesmith, the actor, Starship Commander in Galaxy Quest.
I'll see. So I have no sci-fi cred now.
Okay, who is the
just-
Banks?
And then Edward Buck is the sergeant played by Nathan Fillion in the Halo video games.
Oh
which I
my
was just
gosh.
playing,
She
so I
did not
Halo.
know a Nathan Fillion reference.
All
I'm
right, so
surprised
all of
it's
your
big.
Hicks all of your Aliens ones were right.
Of course.
B. Hicks was another one. Jake Cooper is from Interstellar. Joseph Cooper. John Anderton from Minority Report. Vasquez Hudson, we already figured out. Rick Deckard is Blade Runner.
Oh
Oh.
wow.
Of course.
Colonel Jack O'Neill is from Stargate. We should know that.
We should know that. I watched that.
All right, L
I
Star
love it.
is Lucky Star from Isaac Asimov's Lucky Star book series. L Banks, Louise Banks from Arrival.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Speak of Arrival in this
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Bad backstory to Arrival in my home. You're free to tell everybody if you like.
I feel like I have to. So like I had just had my son and like was doing that postpartum like everything makes me cry thing. And you know, you watch Arrival, and I don't want to like spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but there's like a whole story about someone passing away.
Mhm.
And I'm like silently crying in the corner of this couch with their family dog. And my husband walks out of the room, and he walks back into the room. And he's like, "Man, I can't believe that the blah 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 dying." And I lost it. And Scott looks at him and he's like, "Man, you weren't supposed to verbalize that."
Dude, that's an inside thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flynn, I'm mad about this one too. Kevin Flynn from Tron.
Oh, wow.
See, you guys got me beat, man. I got no sci-fi cred whatsoever.
Roy Neary from Close Encounters, Johnny Rico from Trooper.
Of course, now I do remember that.
We
Yes.
should know that.
Yes.
Starship Troopers.
Sarah Connor, Ryan Stone is Sandra Bullock's character in Gravity Falls, and William Riker. So there you go.
There you go. Well, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
All it does is reveal my ignorance to the world.
I'm mad I didn't recognize
Oh,
the
no,
video
I
game
only-
ones.
I've
I was
watched
like,
every one of those that she mentioned, and I just couldn't
Yeah,
remember them. Yeah.
yeah. The video game ones bother me because I'm watching my husband play Halo right now. Like I should know.
There you go. Oh,
That was a
man.
wonderful little tribute.
That was.
That
and
was really, really
it's
nice.
just so smart, and so
Very
much
smart.
respect. And for us, the nerds in the crowd. Of
Mhm.
course, this whole crowd's probably a nerd crowd for this show. I mean,
Well, one of my favorite scenes, of course, everything drummer was my favorite, but I really liked her whole conversation after Marco is dead, and everybody's sitting around the table.
Yep.
And of course, just like we Earthers do, we're planning to take over everything.
Yep.
And she's being told, well, take our word for it, because we're going to include you and stuff. And when she said, oh, yeah, well, we'll make sure that you get all the respect you need and everything. You're going to take my word for that? That was so good.
I love
She
it. So
said,
here's
good.
Why is your word enough for you, but
Yep.
my word is not enough or why is your
Yep.
word enough for me, but my word is not enough for you?
Exactly.
unbelievable.
I
So
love
And
look,
I mean, Chrissy had to, she hated to admit that she understood that.
Mhm.
She
Oh,
understood that.
I loved every edge of that conversation.
It
And as
was
we've talked
great.
about with this show, they're teaching us things about where we are now, right? So in
Yes.
tribute to that scene and our love of the show, what I did was actually type out the script of that bit.
Oh my
And
God.
there are roles that need to be played here. So, Sister J, I think I'm going to ask you to play drummer because you obviously brought the scene up, and then somebody's got, Leandra, you have a crush on Chrissy. So why don't I ask you to play Chrissy, and then Sister K, you play Holden, if you're okay with that, or I'll
Yeah.
play Holden.
Yeah, because
Okay.
she's diplomatic.
And
You can
then
do Holden.
I will do all of the ancillary characters that have stuff
Okay.
that
Where's
So-
the script?
it's coming. It's coming. So you should see their negotiations, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And so they're working to create a transport union. And we start with drummer. This is
Okay.
after Chrissy says that we should put out a communique that we're all working together and blah 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 blah. And so
All
drummer comes in pretty pissed off.
She says, well, we'll put this out. Belters will control traffic through the ring space.
Oh my God, here we go again.
An authority with 2 inner votes and only 1 for the belt isn't sharing power. It's a puppet show.
You need to be reasonable. I can't do that throaty, sexy thing she does.
I know. I will not be reasoned back into my place.
No.
Belters are promised a future so long as it remains convenient. We are given a voice so long as inners control the calm. We have a vote so long as we can always be voted down.
Easy. We're just talking here.
Don't tell me to calm down. I'm tired of being talked at.
You control of factions, the most important one, yes, but you are not a government. Half of the stations in the belt and the out planets sided with the Naros. You cannot expect us to reward them.
What I expect is for you to reward me and every last Belter who took up arms against the Naros to help you.
I cannot unwind history.
The belt will treat you with respect. You have my word. We will take our niche in the future and allow you yours. You have my word. Is that good enough? Will you take that? Why is your word enough for me and mine not enough for you?
Sorry. Inaros wasn't all wrong. He was evil and he was cruel, but he tapped into something real. He was able to do what he did because so many people were angry and frightened. They saw a future and they weren't in it. That's what this has to fix.
You agree with her?
You want to show someone you can trust them. You put your life in their hands. You can't just pretend to. You can't do that. You don't really trust them. Or if you can't do that, you can't really trust them. And if we can't find a way to trust each other at this point, I doubt we ever will.
What if this transport union was an independent entity and working honorably with all sides? James, it's time for you to make history again.
Fade to black. Thank you so much for doing that.
No,
That was just classic.
Drummer nods.
Yeah, she gives him a little nod.
It wasn't that obvious, Jay. She was like,
Yeah, I love that you find out later. Like,
yes.
they planned that all ahead of time. Like, they knew where they were trying to get everything.
Drummer and Holden planned that stuff out.
And why Christy's so mad, but she also has mad respect. So she just smiles and walks away.
Yes, because she
she
saw.
thought she was maneuvering him into this. That's what she thought.
We should have known that because the story started out once they got rid of that Laconia crap. The story started out with everybody around talking about what they're going to do militarily. And then Holden says, but we got a plan B.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Right.
And when he's laying it all out and she says, you are such an effing optimist. Mm-hmm.
It's a wonder you stayed alive so long.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that. I love that.
I love that line.
Really
I will
dialogue.
not be reasoned back into my place. I just love.
Yep.
And the thing is, this
that's
character,
what they were trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at Chrissy's character and it's a little bit like, damn, you really are that way. It really does take these people to bust you out of that space. Mm-hmm. At the same time, she's dealing with lifelong lived models of what's supposed to be the case. Yeah. And she does not trust the Belters. I don't care what Drummer did. She does not trust them. And I love the way they broke it down. You want to say you trust them, you got to put your life in their hands. They really drew some stuff out there that I thought, yes, that's the stake. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. And then the way it ended was, you watch it and you think, oh my God, that was so fast. Yeah, but the joints were all perfect. And the words were the right edges were right. And mad respect. She had mad respect for Holden when she saw that she had been outplayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But can we talk about that boss outfit she was wearing? Oh my God.
That white outfit with
outfit.
It was so good, y'all.
I was gagging. I was like, OMG,
oh my gosh,
fantastic.
Beautiful.
And they lightened up her lipstick a little bit.
Yeah. I love when they zoom in on her and she's like, don't you do it. Just like she
can do it.
Like, she says, like, I will undo this. I don't think she will. I think that's the growth that we're supposed to see in Chrissy, is that she's not going to undo this, but we also know that growth is never going to, like Scott said, like, this is not going to be like a total 180. Right. She's still going to fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just love how they gave her enough growth to let what needs to happen, but not so much that she took it laying down necessarily. Like,
but I'm glad they have Drummer leading the whole thing, because we started out in the whole series with how badly the Belters were treated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They regulated their air and water. You got to have those two things to be alive.
Why Holden keeps bringing that up. It's not the first time that he's brought that up. Like Inaros was in place for a reason.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you guys,
so many reasons why he ended up being who he was. And if there wouldn't have been Marco Inaros, it would have been Timbuktu or whoever else in that.
But Drummer said that too. She said Marcos was inevitable after hundreds of years of oppression. Yeah.
No, I think, I really think they let a little Marco come out in Chrissy. I mean, you have to be that ruthless to do the things that she was doing, all in the name of the goodness for Earth. And as Leandra said, you don't just stop that because someone persuades you in the moment that it's over with. That's not why you're good at it. You're good at it because you live and breathe it. You don't really think about it, right? And I got to say, I'm glad that they wrote Holden the way he did. I'm glad that he negotiated with his authority. Granted, authority was bestowed on him, as it always has been in the show.
But that's why he said, I want it in writing.
Yep, exactly. And then he bows out. There again, speaking to our time in a sense. And I was very pleased to see them write that character that way.
Well, and when you think about his origins and where he grew up and how he grew up, that was the appropriate character arc for him, I think.
No,
that was totally appropriate. So they didn't do something that was not in character with his character, because he didn't do that. And plus, he's like the Amos and the rest of them. He wants to be out there in space. Yeah. He don't want to be like, tied down to the planet.
And I think his outfit kept up with Chrissy. You guys may not like it, but dude was dressed to the nines.
He looked good.
He looked good. He did look good. And he didn't look quite so thin either.
You just wear the right coat and that helps out. Exactly. Any other favorite lines, characters, scenes from this episode? That's okay.
Yes, I have something else to say. I totally forgot. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I don't know if I quite like what it meant when we're at that final scene and Holden resigns and hands it over to Drummer. We see Michio and Joseph sitting there. Did you notice that?
Oh, they did. I did see that. They were in the audience. Yes, they were.
And I was like, okay, so does this mean because she's now going to be president of this alliance, whatever it's called,
they got new jobs.
Transportation Authority.
Right. So now they back family?
Yes, that's what that meant.
Now she's not fighting?
That's what that meant.
Given the way that the Belters live with love and life, nepotism is not a concept they use. That was supposed to be a joke. I mean, family's family.
We supposed to laugh?
I don't.
She's going to have her family, her lovers in the office. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm glad, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what's that movie? There's a movie where, Armageddon. I'm taking y'all back. Willis movie.
Way back.
So one of Bruce Willis's friends in that show, I can't remember the guy's name. He was divorced from his wife. He had a little boy, and when he would when he was about to go up into get the meteor, they didn't know if they was going to come back alive. He wanted to spend time with his son. He's like, no, get away. You're never around. You're not. You're shifty, whatever. But then when they come back, because they defeated the meteor, Earth is going to survive, and they have this woman running and skipping to come and hug him with the son because he made it and he was part of this winning crew that won. And it just burned me up because I'm like, but you think that this woman is going to be all lovey-dovey with this man just because he defeated and was successful in this thing. So it's kind of, I hate that concept, and they do that a lot, especially with female characters. But in this instance, I was thinking the same. I was like, it ran through my mind. I was like, ooh, are they there clapping and happy?
No, you missed the whole point. No,
Oh.
you missed the whole point, because when what you call them, when Michio was first taking care of Joseph,
Yeah.
they were on Ceres Station.
Yes.
She said, we gonna stay on Ceres Station.
Right, which means we ain't gonna be with you. So now they're gonna be with her as a family again, because now she's gonna be leading this.
But the whole thing was taking place on Ceres Station.
That's not the point I'm making, Sister J.
Well, I don't see what your point is. Of course, they'd be in the audience. They're belters.
Well, there were a bunch of them in the audience. Yeah.
Well, it's not about the Belter thing. It's about her family, being her part of her family. Are they going to be trying to be part of her family again?
Well, we don't know that, but I took it like, yes, she was going to get her family back, because now she was going to be a politician as opposed to being out there in space on a spaceship. Therefore, she's going to be halfway stationary.
I rebuke that. Because if you're gonna be part of my family, you're gonna be part of my family, whether I'm the warrior having to go and kill somebody, or if I am the leader of the Alliance Interstellar whatever travel place. Now that I came back and I'm successful, you want to be part of
personal issue.
See, I thought that when they were on Ceres Station and they said Michio said they were going to stay, I didn't experience that as a breakup.
Yeah,
right.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought because I think Drummer came back and said I didn't love you because you were warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I loved you because we wanted to build something together.
Correct.
And they got forced into those warrior roles, and I think. I just got the impression that you have to go your way, I have to go mine. I don't know that she felt abandoned, but she was very sad.
I thought
that they were going to, I mean, but the beauty of the writing is that they picked the right words and we don't know, right?
True.
They just went through those emotional spaces in front of us, and I get to watch it again 20 times and try to figure out any other scenes.
I was going to say, I was excited to see the Ceres station administrator at the table.
Yes.
Because
even though she's salty.
Yes. I really enjoy it. I've loved watching her as like a secondary, maybe even tertiary character.
Yeah. Her name was
so consistent.
Sanjani.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I just love seeing her there and her like piping up and being like, yeah.
I remember her first name is Nico though, because I thought that was really cool.
That is a cool name.
Yeah.
Nico.
I just thought that whole conversation, it got to the point so clearly, so quickly. All of Chrissy's privilege was in every word she said.
Oh yeah.
And Drummer,
and even those other side people, they were like, oh, here, when she said, oh, well, what, there's only one of us and two inners. He's like, oh, here she goes again. Like,
I didn't say that convincingly. What about you? I'm just teasing.
But I mean, just their attitudes towards them.
Yeah.
And I really like that in the first part when we were first discussing the battle with Chrissy, Drummer, and Holden were there, and that little side lady that was given the information about where everything was kind of gets an attitude with Drummer, and Drummer's like, oh yeah, well, we don't do that, but we can. Let's go. And she kind of stepped to her.
She started stepping,
and I was like, okay. Drummer said, she said, look, we don't have. I'm not the one, but I will be the one today. Let's go. And then when Chrissy backed her up, and I like that. I like them showing that she can put it on when she need to, and she can be more. She knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off. Yeah. And
that was a good scene.
That was a good scene.
I love it when the dialogue feels like it's really coming out of that character, and it makes them smart. Because Chrissy had all of her charms on. She was doing all the things she does, and Drummer just boom, 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 boom. Yep. No wasted words. Kind of conversation none of us are really probably used to having. They tend not to go that clearly, and just Because we did say, how do we want the series to end? I remember saying that I hope they don't kind of center it around the death of Marco, which they kind of did, right? I mean, they took it all the way to episode 6, but then we saw the resolution. That whole scene probably lasted 3 minutes, but nonetheless, in that 3 minutes, yeah, that makes sense. And then Holden's scene, probably a minute and a half. Yeah, that makes sense. And damn.
I was glad to see that they extended it as far as they did after Marco burnt up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was very well done to do it that way.
And when you showed the clip, I remember being like, I don't want it to end with them turning the entities onto them, but I'm actually glad they did. Like his own hubris is what got him. Like he went flying through there thinking, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna rule everything. Like I actually, they played it off. I'm gonna admit I was wrong there. Like,
well, that's what Marco gets for not paying attention to the science. It's in peer-reviewed papers, right? The mass energy ratio going through the Marco.
He thought he was going to get some more proto-molecule weapons and stuff.
He did.
And when Duarte cut him off and said, no, you were just a distraction so we could go do what we need to do. But, and anybody come up on Laconia and we going to fire on you.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I think Marcos was thinking, well, once I get into the ring gate and get past the UN and Mars, then I'm going to stick my guns on Laconia. That's what I think he probably thought. Oh,
probably was going to do that because he did not like being told, no, we're not giving you no more stuff.
You notice how quickly he was like, turned that little thing off when Philip walked in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Because because when he said to Rosenfeld something about, she says, well, I really don't like fighting the war this way. And he said, well, but I got some other stuff coming. And she kind of gave him that hopeful look, like, oh. And he went to his quarters because she knows he always goes into his quarters to contact this Duarte guy.
Right.
So him turning it off right quick when Philip came in was perfect because he don't want nobody to know.
No.
Because he wants to be the boss.
Yeah, no, that's very true. We'll control the information.
And he certainly doesn't want to share it with Philip. I don't care how much he said, you're my son, and all this. No, he wants to be the one, period.
Yeah.
And when he left, he was irritated with Philip, of course, when Philip says, oh yeah, I see now. Like I see you for real.
Okay. And speaking of that, before he even said the words veer off, I was half expecting him to look to where he thought Philip would be sitting. You know what I mean? Like when he realized, they're going to be burning up.
You don't care about Philip.
Exactly.
He ain't never cared about him. He even said it in there. He says, well, when Philip says, well, what, that could have been me. And he says, and it could have been me.
I bet you they had this exact same conversation in the writing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's make sure he doesn't look in the direction that the audience will think Philip is in, just to show how much of a sociopath he truly is.
But the thing is that scene before that happened, when Philip said, I see you, Marcos was annoyed and irritated. And he could see in Philip's eyes that Philip had lost his whatever.
I think so.
For him. And so when he came out of the room and he told that one guy, you know how he always has to have that bluster and like make orders and feel like he's the boss whenever he gets kind of knocked down a peg. And he told that guy, find out whatever. He's like, okay, I gotta pump himself up. And to me, it was really cool that they kept that part of his character going, because immediately he did what he does best, which is do one of his speeches and gets everybody riled up to make himself feel like he's the boss again, instead of dealing with the real truth is that y'all gotta figure something out, because just running full speed in the head ain't gonna do it. But he's too narcissistic for that.
So given how badly they got the butts kicked, do you think people would have actually sat around going Beltalowda? I mean, or what people have been doing what Philip did is like, damn.
No, because he riled them up. He knows how to rile them up. Yeah. He knows how to get to the core of them. Like, okay, we're down, but we're not beaten.
Right.
We got him on the ropes.
Yeah.
And they know,
Rally back and give it to
Right.
him.
And
they know Marco has had other people who even ask him a question spaced.
Yeah.
They all know
Fair
that.
enough.
So yeah.
Fair enough. Captive audience.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And he knows just the right thing to say.
Right.
Because they've, like Drummer said, centuries of being put a foot on our neck.
Yeah.
They know exactly what to say.
They've been in worse situations. Like they've been in far worse situations than what they were in just then.
Mm-hmm.
Like fighting for a cause or dying because someone wants you dead
Yeah.
is two different things, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they didn't realize those little entities going to burn you up.
No, they didn't have that intel.
And
even if they did, it wouldn't have mattered because they detonated that thing beforehand. So they wouldn't have known the true ratio that was going into it. So even
That's
if they
true.
had read that evidence-based paper, which they didn't,
that's right.
Yes.
they wouldn't have had the foresight to understand how to prevent it anyway. Like they should have
Yeah.
done, I'm sure there's some sort of calculation, some probe you could do
Yeah, I love
at
it.
Star Trek where you could figure out whether or not it's safe.
Yeah.
Rosenfeld would have thought of that.
Yes, she would. She would have been like, wait. Let's let everybody else go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, really. She would have.
Yep.
She would have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's all-
she
that's
would
it. Let 'em
have.
go
You're
first.
right. Mm-hmm.
But the one last thing I'll say is I
Yeah.
really like the last scene with Holden and Naomi because he is like, yeah, people are mad at me. Da, 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 da. Hopefully I've done enough. And I liked what she was telling him if they patched in the scenes of Philip leaving. And she was like, you can't ever know what you've done, how it's affected anyone else, or what you've said, that one thing that might have changed someone or helped someone for the better. And of course, and they're showing Philip where she said that one act of kindness could have affected someone for the better, for whatever. And then of course we know her telling Philip that she loved him and he's going to have to reconcile in his life and make his own decisions. And I liked how they did that and how they changed that scene.
So I got a question. So I noticed when they blew up that ice hauler ship, so to wake up the entities, Marco was coming this way and they were coming this way, and it showed the ring. So they were already on the outside of the ring, correct? The Rosinante?
Everybody was on the outside.
Okay. And Marco was coming this way from the other direction.
See, I thought they were inside the ring because they had attacked Medina. They had attacked the station.
Yeah. Okay. So
I thought they were on the inside of the ring.
Were they outside? And then he was trying to.
Too. So okay, but my question is.
I missed that part.
No, my question is this. Okay, what it showed was right before Naomi hit the button, they showed the ice trawler this way from this side of the ring, and where their view of the ring looked like it was opaque, and then Marco was coming this way, and his clouds and everything looked like they were just stars and clouds and stuff until he started going through, and then it was the red. So my question is, so where'd Philip go? What direction were he going? That's my question.
So look, given Marco was going the direction he was, which would be toward, and it looked to me like Philip went the other way.
Okay.
I got the impression he didn't go through the gate. He went the other way. But that's just, I don't have anything to back it up.
And so the other way, if he was going the other way, wouldn't that be where the UN Navy still is?
I mean, he can go down, he can go under, like he can go.
Yeah,
there's lots of places he can go. I think he's probably going back to like Ceres Station. He's going to find a crew and join a crew and go do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the way that it worked as an ending, and you don't know where the hell he went.
Yeah,
right. I mean, you don't.
I wonder. That's not the point. The point is he left. The point is Naomi worked, and he left his dad, and he didn't die.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
and he didn't kill him.
And the other point is that Naomi's never going to know that he survived, that he lived.
I think she will. Especially because he changed his name to Nagata. Yeah.
Well, I like that point you made, Sister K, about never knowing the consequences of what you say or do. Because, I'll just speak as a college professor. The weirdest things pop up in students' heads 10 years later after you run into them somewhere, and you don't have any idea what moment it was. I don't know if I told you about a student, I have this saying, I say, live the life you want to remember. And I had a student who has been gone for 2 or 3 years. And I got a postcard from Key West. And he said, Scott, I'm in Key West. And I emailed him, what the hell is going on? Because he's up in Rhode Island, right? And he wrote back, he said, I remember in class, you said, live the life you want to remember. So I rented a car and I drove down to Key West. I mean, you just never know.
But you know what? That happens to everyone.
Yes.
I mean, before I even went to law school and stuff, I was a corporate secretary for years. And I have met people like 10, 20 years later in a store or like at the mall, and they say, remember when you did such and such, and I'm thinking, okay, so you just never know what impact you have on another person. And
there's some peace that can come from that. As long as 60% of it's positive that you get back later in life, right? But just keep passing that on.
I don't fool with negative folks.
There you go. Just keep moving. Absolutely. Because it's not just about now. Yeah. All right. Any final comments about this episode?
I got a final comment.
Okay.
I'm real bummed that it's over. And I want a spin-off movie or a spin-off series with preferably Amos and Drummer in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
You're right. And as long as they keep the writers of the novels in the writing room for the show, it's they've got to be there, because that world building, not just the sophisticated world building, but making all the characters have the right level of cognitive understanding or emotional respect. That's crazy.
And Bobby needs to be there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they could do a whole spinoff and set it like 20 years in the future. So we see what happened.
Yeah.
When the Belters are
discovers Laconia taken over by the proto-molecule, and it's a bunch of them little zombie boys running around.
Yeah, now that'd be good.
And there's gonna be packs of them damn dogs.
All of them.
Packs.
Yeah, because they obviously multiplying.
And they did everything they could to make us think those dogs were going to attack them in every episode.
Oh.
It's like they're like 3 of them are running through the forest now. Okay, this is when they're going to get them right. And it never happened.
I will say, out of all these seasons, that's the only piece that could have left all the way out, and it would have made it better. If you can even say that, because it was so good.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing out of all those seasons that to me didn't make.
I like the whole Laconia thing, and the proto molecule, that's where they're developing all this stuff and everything. But that whole runaway child thing, and she ain't listened to her parents and running in the woods. No.
So you're making a really good point, because narratively it wasn't about the kids. It was about what the proto molecule is doing to that planet, who's trying to use it.
Yeah.
I suspect that storyline was lifted out of a book. They have a book called Strange Dogs, a novella that came out. I guess I've never read it, but there could have been a different narrative way to tell that, right? That wasn't so Pet Cemetery-ish.
Yeah.
Because
that was like boring to me. The only good thing about it is that at least they would begin each episode with that, because then I could go in the kitchen and get me a drink and stuff, come on back and never miss a thing.
There you go.
Well, what I wish they would have closed up a little better was the relationship between the number of dogs and the number of resurrections. I just wish they would have taken a little more time to spell that out, but I'll tell you, I mean, seeing Bobby, sitting there 90 degrees, taking these shots head on, that I've never seen anything like that before. And I thought someone thought that all out and showed it to me.
Her whole character, the whole mythology of the Martians and the Marines, the Martian Marine stuff, it's just great. I mean, when we first see them and they're doing their training and stuff, and I remember thinking, what?
Yeah.
What kind of suit they got? What can this suit do? I mean, the whole mythology is just really great, I think.
And they did a little bit to remind us how badass that outfit is when Holden's carrying all these munition boxes into the hold, and he says, "This thing can hold all this, huh?" And she goes, "Yeah. It's like thousands of rounds, man." No, it was
Love
very
Bobby
impressive.
though, boy, she's good too.
Yeah,
they need a spinoff with Bobby and Drummer and Chrissy all in it.
I definitely would watch it. I wouldn't hesitate to watch it. It'd be fantastic. So I guess that kind of wraps it up for tonight for our conversation about the episode. We're going to have an after party next week, and we'll just celebrate the entire series with some other fans. So thanks to you three wonderful human beings for joining me on this trip. This I gotta tell you, I don't know if I started watching The Expanse the third season or the fourth. I just don't remember. I know I wasn't watching it on sci-fi. And it's one of those things where it's like good scotch. I've said this before, but you just taste it and you know that it's good. You don't have to really think hard about it. It's one of those things I just watched it myself, episode after episode, just knowing it was good. And one really good thing about this show is that it affords me the opportunity to continue to cosplay as I get older, right? I mean, there are older characters in the show, and I can always play Miller 20 years later.
Yes. Definitely.
I was disappointed he didn't make a show. I would have loved to see a Miller moment. But yeah.
I really thought that he was going to make an appearance. Yeah.
I thought so too.
So, like I said, we'll be here next week. But for now, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you on social media, and we'll start with Leandra.
You can find me on Twitter at Paris Leandra, at Parris Leandra.
Fantastic. How about you, Sister K?
Sister Speak Podcast Productions. Just look up Sister Speak and you'll find us.
All righty then. Thank you so much. How about you, Sister J?
What she said.
Fantastic. You can find me on Twitter at @dark_loops. You can find all episodes of the Expanse crew on the Dark Loops Productions channel at YouTube. If you want to leave feedback, just leave it on the YouTube page or send an email to darkloopsproductions@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to read it during the after party. So there it is from all of us to all of you. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.